It's time for episode 2 of Stuff I Own. This one is about the Glerups, the slippers, house shoes that I mentioned at the end of the previous episode. And I've been interested to review these for a while because my husband's dad bought these for me. For both of us, he bought a pair for each of us. But Bert almost never wears them, and I wear mine. Well, I used to wear them really all the time for maybe 6 months. And I have a suspicion that he sent us these in part so they could be reviewed, like so that he could figure out if these were cool and if he would want some for himself, if they would make good camp shoes, if they'd make good house shoes, like what are these good for? And they are interesting. So they're made entirely of wool. It's just one complete patch of wool that is attached to a rubber bottom. And they're pretty comfortable, but there are issues. There are some major issues. You may have noticed looking inside there that there's quite a bit of holes in the wool on the inside. And it didn't take very long for it to conform to the shape of my feet, right? So like your feet make an impression in the wool, and then it becomes like you feel the toe indentations and everything. But as you wear them more and more, just like big chunks tend to come off. Like it will, because it's kind of bunching in shaping to your foot, then it has almost like plate tectonics where like a piece of it will kind of go over the other pieces and come off. And so there's been plenty of times where as I'm casually walking around in these, I just feel like a piece of it come off into my shoe, and then I have to remove it. And sometimes that will tear it even further or remove more than I wanted to come out. And so, it did not take long at all for this to start happening. Like, I was wearing these pretty much every day around the house, but like within no time at all, pieces started coming off from the inside. And so that's by far the biggest problem, is that they've altered in shape so much that they're not entirely comfortable anymore. I mean, the spot where the big toe is at, it's literally just toes just on rubber at this point. So it loses comfortability quickly, and the warmth of it is cool, but they are not as useful obviously during the summertime as they were during the winter. So that's part of why I haven't been wearing them as much. But really, it's more so the uncomfortability, where I'm now like wearing like a generic $15 pair of Marge Simpson slippers around the house, which, while they have also like conformed to the shape of my feet rather quickly, have not actually shown any wear. Like, they have not come apart. Let me pull these up. This is like the kind of novelty slipper you'd buy at Spencer Gifts and expect it to completely fall apart in a couple of weeks. But I've been wearing these for nearly 2 months, and there's no damage whatsoever. And I've worn them out, except for like on the bottom of the big toe. And that's because I wore these outside. Like I've gone to take out the trash in them and stuff, and walked around on the deck. And they're really not meant for that kind of thing. But I tend to push everything I own to its limit. These, like, I had no concerns about the sole of the shoe falling apart. It's held up to being worn outside. It's held up to being a camp shoe and stuff. But the problem with trying to wear these outside is that the wool stuff gets stuck to it really easily. So if you walked through like a couple of leaves, they're going to stick to the shoe, and you have to pull them off and potentially take some wool with them. I have walked through thorns as well, which is how this tear happened, I think, is that it got caught on a thorn from like a vine or something, and it tore a piece of the shoe off. So they're not necessarily good for outdoors. They are good for indoors, especially if you have like, cold floor that you're trying to avoid getting through the shoe. But here's another weird, unpredictable issue that these have. The bottom, if it gets wet at all, becomes really sticky for some reason. Where like if a tiny bit of water gets on these, then every time you take a step on any kind of wooden or ceramic surface, then it will feel like your shoe is sticking to the ground, and it will make like a squishy noise. And it's incredibly annoying, and it's hard to like dry. Like, you could walk on carpet for a bit and it doesn't seem like your shoe is wet anymore, but it's still like gummying to the ground and kind of like weighing each step down. And it's super bizarre. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know what about this material. You can see on the other side another cut. Once again, this is the other shoe. Once again, the toe is gone. And also, like, certain pieces, like you see there where it's kind of hard, like that's like where I don't know if something got into the shoe or if it's just like compacted the wool from, being walked on so much. But that is like hard. Like, it feels like hard plastic in there. And if I were to try to remove that, it's going to take part of the shoe with it. So yeah, it just, the wool comes off in layers very easily. And when those get into your shoe, it's very annoying. It's annoying to walk on the little pieces of shoe that have come out. And the fact that it sticks to surfaces is super bizarre and very uncomfortable. They also look dirty as shit on the bottom. And, like, I don't think that this could be cleaned off. It's like the dirt has permeated into the stickiness of the shoe. So, yeah, overall, I like the shoes. I think they're comfortable. I think they're interesting as house shoes go. I suspect that they are kind of expensive, and I don't think they're worth that cost, considering how rapidly they fall apart, how many issues they have, and it's not like they have actively gotten less comfortable. Like, every time I wear them, I feel as though I am taking another, HP off of a bar that can't be refilled back up. So I would overall give them like probably a 7 out of 10 in terms of, I mean, maybe less, maybe a strong 6 to a light 7. Like, they are comfortable, they are interesting, but they just have too many drawbacks, like if they were still as good as they were when I first got them, it would be an 8 out of 10, but it easily loses points for how easily they fall apart and the weirdness of how they stick to the ground. So, yeah, I don't think I'd recommend them to other people. I think there are probably other better slipper brands, other better house shoes, definitely better campground shoes and stuff to wear outside, because even though the wool seems like, oh, well, that would keep me warm, it will also stick everything to it and be impossible to clean without damaging it. So, yeah, that's my Glerups review. Ignore the washer. I'm washing the purse from the previous video. Here's what Bird's look like, by the way. As you can see, his foot is massively larger than mine, but this has not been used nearly as much as mine have. I would say he's probably worn these less than 20 times, and yet, strangely, the bottom looks dirtier in some ways. I don't know what he stepped in, but he has not run into the problem of the inside falling apart. He doesn't really have any chip damage on it. So this is what it would be like if it was only worn a little bit. And even then, it's kind of dirty. I assume he probably wore this through a store or two. But, again, I have not seen him wear these more than 10 times. So them being as dirty as they are, and, like, I'd be afraid to wash it because I feel like that'll just expedite it coming apart. So, yeah, again, they're cool looking. They're interesting. But they don't hold up to scrutiny. Thanks for watching. I'm Trixie the Golden Witch. I literally am trying to create 100 YouTube channels, and this is just a drop in the bucket. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Check out the other stuff I do, and I'll see you in the next one.